But what's a trip is like this year's over for sales pretty much. Everything that you're doing today is very likely a closing for 2025.
Right.
We have less than 2 months, right? And if you're pre-approving somebody right now, they go into escrow. They're either closing mid-December or they're closing next year. Like, it's go time. And so, just as like an industry perspective, I think there's going to be a ton more volume next year. This year we did about one. We're going to end up doing about 1.5. I only know mortgage purposes, but about 1.5 trillion in mortgages, which is down about 60% from 2022. But 2025 should be insane because a lot of people have left the industry. There was just a report that said 47% of all real estate agents, 47%, that means 1 out of 2 pretty much, haven't closed a transaction in 2024. So if you close even one transaction this year, like, you should be proud of yourself. But I don't, for Angelica, she's not trying to get to one transaction. She's trying to get to 120. And that's a big goal, right? And so when we do goal setting, we don't want to think about the end result. We want to think about maybe the final feeling. And sometimes imagining that feeling of crossing out the 120th transaction of your whiteboard and feeling that for just a little bit might give you the motivation to keep going, especially when the days are tough and it feels like you're not going to get there. You can always picture yourself at the finish line, and sometimes that just gets you a little bit more. But I'm a very data-driven person, and so today we're going to just break down the numbers on like how she's going to get to 120. So
Let's do it.
It's a pretty easy experiment, especially when we're having whole numbers. You guys can follow along, and if you have a piece of paper or you have a whiteboard, you're going to need a calculator for this.
I have my calculator. I feel like I'm in class.
You're going to need a calculator for this, and we're going to break down the numbers, and then we're going to go into a strategy on how you're actually going to do this. All right. All right.
Okay.
So 120 transactions a year. How many transactions do we have to close every month?
10.
Okay. So I would ask you, why did you choose 120 transactions?
Because it'll be double what I did this year.
It'll be double. That's
a
good reason. What, aside from it just being like a numeric like goal, like what other reason did you say I want to double it? Like, peel back one more layer of the onion.
It'll be over $1 million in GCI. Okay. So I think it's...
And why is it important for you to make over $1 million in GCI?
Because I can then retire my parents.
Okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Once you make the $1 million, you could retire your parents?
Yeah. Well, probably once but that'll be nice to take care of them.
Okay. I love that. Right? So when you're doing your goal setting, right, and you're trying to figure out like what number am I going to hit, I think it's important to sit with yourself and try to figure out, why am I even doing this? And again, this is all being done so that when the times get tough, you're actually able to like reach back in, pull this out and go like, that's right. I'm not sick today. I want to retire my parents. Okay. So we want to do 10 per month.
Yes.
All right. So now how many is that per week?
2.5. Yeah.
We'll take 120 and divide that by 52.
2.18.
So 2.1 transactions per week. Everybody get what we did there? So you take how many transactions you want to get to, and then you divide that. All right. How many escrows do you need to do per day?
Per day?
Yeah. So.
Oh, then I have to divide that by.
Yeah. So do you want to just?
Per day?
Yeah. Just follow with me on this.
Okay.
Follow me on this.
Well, if it's, hold on.
It's a decimal, right? So you can either take that and divide it by
7. So 0.31.
0.31. You work every day? You do work every day.
I do work every day.
All right. All right, awesome. What's your average commission closing?
This year was sales price
Sales price.
550. But lately it's been higher.
Okay, let's go.
And that's the goal for next year too.
I like
I want to get out
550
of the
as a number.
fives. Okay.
Yeah. How much was your average commission percentage?
Let's just go with 2%.
Okay, so multiply it by 2%.
Yeah.
11,000. All right. Are you guys following along? You see what we did? So you're going to take the average purchase price for the house that you did over the last year, and you're going to multiply that by how much you average in commission percentage. So in this case, 550 times 2% equals 11,000. All right. So what's 11,000 times 120?
1.32. 1,320,000.
All right.
That's we're going off gross.
So that's how much you would make gross, yeah.
Okay.
All right. And we can take into account splits later, but I mean, 16,000 off that ain't much. You know?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right.
If I only had one this year, do I use that number? Yes. Unless it's like you did a manufactured home for like 60 grand, you know, then choose an average price point in your marketplace. All right. So once we figure out how much you're going to make in the entire year, okay, what we're going to start to figure out is how to value your time. All right. So how much is that per month?
110,000.
So you're going to make 110,000 per month. Okay. So how much is that per week?
Wait. 27,500.
No, go back. Type in the full number. And divide that by 52.
Oh. 25,000. Why did that change? Okay.
The reason why you don't divide by 4 is because then you're missing 4 weeks in the year.
You have to do the whole year, Beckett. And the reason it changed is because you're trying to make more money and you're worth more. Ooh.
All right.
Because you could do it if you took 4 weeks off.
No. Okay, that's
All right.
fine.
And you don't even take a day off. I'm not going to get you to take a week off. So going back, so we figured out per month she was going to make 110,000 per month. Per week, if you take the total GCI per year, divide that by 52, that's going to give you your per week average. And now we're going to figure out per day. So if you work 2 days a week, then you just divide that number by 2. If you work 5 days a week, like I work Monday through Friday, so I would take my weekly number, divide that by 5. Angelica will not take a Sunday off, even though I've begged her to. So I made her divide it by 6 because she's going to start taking Sundays off. All right. So her daily income for next year, when she hits her goal, is going to average out to $4,230.76. Now imagine this. Imagine yourself. Did you ever picture yourself waking up and going, damn, today I'm going to make 4 bands?
No.
Like what's crazy is this isn't that hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So and this is the money ball right here, right? How many
$4,230 a day?
Yep.
So that's basically a deal every 2 days.
Close.
Okay.
How much is that per hour?
24.
Well, how many hours do you work in a day?
It's 8.
8?
All right. 528.
So your hourly rate is $528. Now, the reason why we want to calculate your hourly rate for those of us that are in real estate, like we never calculate how much our time is actually worth. Right? If you had a simpler goal, right? Like, and you were doing 2 transactions or 10 transactions a year or 12 transactions, and you're trying to get to 20 transactions a year. This is about the point where you start to think about scaling. So before I got to Angelica, I was coaching a loan officer on how to scale his business. And it's like, well, how much your time is worth? and when you start scaling with assistants, but also like she now knows that her time, her hourly rate when she's actually supposed to be working is $528. So she has to calculate, where is my time actually worth $528? And wherever it's not worth $528 per hour, which I know for a lot of people are probably like, that's obscene,
Right.
right? But there are tasks that you do that are worth that much.
Right.
And so I would ask you, like, what do you think you do that's worth $528 an hour?
Negotiating. Well, negotiating with clients. I
Negotiating
mean,
what?
with listing agents.
Okay. Tell me in the chat what you guys think is worth $500 an hour.
And lead gen. Networking.
Okay. Networking. Okay. I respect that. What else? Give me something else. If you're a brand new agent, then just do it based on what
I'm sorry, I was on a call.
calling future clients, expired listings, great relationships with clients,
Request for repair
requests
negotiations.
for repairs, following up. What else, guys? Prospecting. What else is worth $500 an hour? Making TikToks. Boom. I like that.
TikToks. That one's better.
I like that.
And
I think Deja put that as potentially a joke, but that's the money bar right there. All right.
I have a question for Angelica. Angelica, how much is your time on TikTok worth? How much have you made off of your TikToks?
Oh, off my TikToks? Like $1,000?
Per a couple of minutes, right?
I guess, yeah. I never thought about it like that.
I just think that's a great piece of information. The fact that you've turned your time into literally
You monetized it.
I mean literally. So if she's worth, she said what, $5,000 a day?
Yeah, 4,200.
That's actually true. I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah. So what are the yeah, I mean we got negotiations, lead gen,
and I
and
think
videos, right? Video creation. All right. What tasks are you doing that don't fall into these three categories?
a lot of it.
Right. So now as we start to think about scaling, like your time needs to be purely focused on the activities that produce the highest yielding results and are actually worth your hourly rate. Because every time you complete a task,
right,
that's not negotiating, lead gen, video creation, you're losing money, because you can hire a VA, you can hire an assistant, you can hire somebody to monitor your email, which you already have.
right.
But you can hire somebody for $20 an hour to do all of the remedial shit that you shouldn't be doing. And so one of the big challenges with small business owners is they'll go, okay, well, I don't want to pay somebody $20 an hour. Right. To do, what's a task in real estate, guys, that you guys
Schedule
do?
showings.
Schedule showings. You do that still?
No.
Okay.
Were you asking me or them?
Anybody.
But yeah, that's one. That's the first thing I delegated.
Okay, so you delegate that. That's gone.
Putting home
Okay,
people.
so let's look at how much of a net positive you're at.
Okay.
Okay, 528. That's your hourly rate.
Okay.
Right, minus $20. How long does it take to schedule showings?
Like 10 minutes. Maybe 30 minutes. Let's say.
So let's say an hour.
Yeah.
Make it easy. So now you're at a net positive of $508. That's how much money you've made in time. But it only works if you use that time for something that's worth that activity.
Okay.
Because if you pay somebody $20 an hour, but then you spend that hour fucking scrolling, then you not only did you lose $520, but you also lost the $20. So it's a realignment and a shift in the thought patterns of like what I should be doing, and really being so fucking furious when somebody wastes your time or an activity wastes your time that you can completely delegate. Especially now you're playing in the $1 million range.
Right.
Like you're playing in the realm where every fucking minute, like it matters. Like no one owns your time, because shit, you can even with this type of hourly rate, go and take 528 and divide it by 60. Every minute is worth $8 for you.
That is a bar. Thank you for that one.
Yeah.
So you think about something as mundane as, okay, so here's an example. I made $1 million in 2020. Sorry, 2021. And that was my gross revenue. And then I probably profited a shit ton. I bought 3 houses that year.
Nice.
And this year I'm on pace for close to 7 figures. But I order, when I'm at home, I order Uber Eats. Like it's more expensive. But I'm not going to, like, my time to get in the car, go to a fucking Panda Express, get a chicken bowl, and drive back, that's 30 minutes. I'm not doing that when I can be on my laptop.
Right.
When I can be working on systems, when I can be prospecting, when I can be calling. I'm not wasting my day like that, because my time has just become too valuable. And so now you start to get to that position where, like, someone invites you, hey, let's go clubbing on a Sunday night, and you're like, fuck, I got a time block of 2 hours of prospecting on Monday at 9 to 11, and I'm gonna be hungover and I'm gonna miss that.
Right.
And so it's not just the night that you lose,
it's the following morning.
It's the following morning that you lost. For every minute that you're late, you lost $8.
That gave me anxiety.
It should, right? But now you have to, you're taking now the next level to where it's easy to be in the middle.
Right.
Right? But now you're hitting the bottom of the 1%. And the bottom of the 1%, like I've been stuck at the bottom of the 1% for fucking years.
Yeah.
It is a fucking gauntlet to try to get to the top.
Right.
Ask you a question, please. I am a new agent. How should I do those calculations? Should I just do like a smaller number? Because most of my time now is on education and training.
Yeah.
For 2025.
100%. You pick a number that's your goal. So if you know, for a new agent, 100,000 is probably like a big number, right? Like that's a common. Is that pretty common for real estate agents?
I think that's a pretty big
I want to
goal.
make 100,000. So you start with 100,000. You're gonna divide 100,000 divided by 12, and then 100,000 and divide that by 52. Then 100,000 and divide that by 5. Sorry. The delta, the whatever X of 100,000 divided by 12 is, which should be 8,666, and you divide that by 0.67, and you divide that by 5, and then that's going to give you your daily rate, and then you divide that by 8.
8 hours.
Right, and so then for a person,
Do you think as a new agent, I have to do the other things like learn to do showings and the other things that maybe Angelica is paying other people to do it for her? Because as a new agent, I'm
how
still
many
learning.
transactions have you done?
Nothing. Not
Yeah,
yet.
so you should, I don't know.
Yeah. I think you're in the season of learning versus earning right now.
Yeah.
So like my whole first year was just learning, partnering with agents, listening to other agents and how they do business. And then eventually you get to the point where the conversation isn't how do I do it, but it's how do I do more. And so I think right now you just need to focus on doing the activity.
The first thing in the beginning, just focus on learning and training.
Correct.
Okay,
All right.
thank you guys.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
absolutely. Now let's get into some fun KPIs.
Oh.
How many videos did you post this year?
This year?
Yeah. All your leads come from Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many videos did you post on Instagram this year?
That is a great question. I was consistent for like the last 15 days.
Okay. How many videos did you post
Can
on
I
Instagram?
count them?
Instagram doesn't have like a way for you to filter for you to know.
Oh, probably.
Okay, guys, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna figure out the lead gen portion of it. So like how she actually got to 64 transactions is important because we want to duplicate those efforts. Right? If all her transactions really started or came from social media, then we want to figure out exactly how they got there. And the thing with where Angelica's at going into her 4th year is she's going to start now getting her clients that she got into escrow or got a home for on her 1st year and the beginning of her 2nd year who now want to sell because they got married, because they had a baby, because they got divorced, because there was a death in the family, right? There's the 5Ds or 4Ds, whatever. And so those clients are going to come in, but we're not going to take that into account.
What I'm counting.
Does everybody on here like have pretty decent social media followings or you're consistently posting?
I'm now consistently posting because Angelica challenged us to do a 30-day program. So I think we're past the half point now. So now I am.
How have the results been? Like, have you gotten any leads from your post? Have you gotten any interaction? Like, have you seen any difference in your social media following or business since you started posting consistently?
Yeah, so I'm in a different position than most. I'm actually not licensed yet. I'm getting ready to take it. And my social media was nothing. I had 200 and some followers, and now I've been doing content, and I'm up to 700 and some followers just in just over 15 days. I have one person, I guess I can consider them a lead, and I'm pumped. So it's all because of Angelica and the program.
Yep.
You're awesome. I don't know if she's on here. I forgot her name, but she was on the call on Monday. She was doing the 15-day challenge. She said she got a listing and 2 buyers off of it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So 80 videos.
It's free marketing. All right. 80 videos. How many closings have you gotten off each video?
We'll divide that by
How many closings have you done this year?
49.
49.
And I have 10 pending.
You have 10 pending. All right. We'll give you the credit for it, right? We'll just say, so you've done 60. Let's make it a nice round number.
Okay.
All right. Would you say the majority of your closings or your 10 pending came from the 80 videos that you posted this year?
They did. And most of these, this will sound really bad, were inbound. So like these people called me or texted me.
Right.
It wasn't even the people I was calling.
That's awesome. All right. So this is super easy. Yeah, I'm gonna have you take 80 and divide it by 60. So
1.3.
1.3 videos. All right. So it takes 1.3 videos to get one closing. How much is one video worth? How much is 1.3 videos worth?
What do you mean worth?
Yeah, how much?
Well, commission check, no?
Yeah, it's worth
So about 11,000.
11,000. So
What
take
the hell?
11,000 and divide that by 1.3.
8,461.
How much is every video worth?
8,461.
8,461. So when we're looking at your hourly rate, oh, I got goosebumps. Nice. That means I'm doing something. When we're looking at your hourly rate of $528 an hour, where's your time best spent?
In a video.
Doing videos, right? Because one video
Mm-hmm.
is worth $8,461. One video.
Damn, that's actually crazy.
So, if we want to get to, this is where it all ties in. It's a callback. This is what makes money for Disney. This is what makes money in Hollywood. It's the callback. How much did we want to make? How much were we going to make next year?
1.3.
Okay. Divide that by how much?
8,461.
That's right. How many videos do we have to make in order to hit our goal?
156 on the dot.
So how many videos are you going to make next year?
156.
Okay. So how many videos are we going to make per month?
By 12?
Yep.
13.
How many videos are we going to post per week?
Is that by 4?
156 divided by,
156?
yeah, because we're doing 156 videos.
Divided by 52?
Yep.
3.
3 videos a week. So how many videos are you going to make a day?
Half.
0.5. So if you did, and this is, you guys ready for this? This is the close right here. So if Angelica took her entire schedule, right? And she said, I'm going to work 6 days a week. And we need to do 3 videos a week. Right? So she said on Mondays, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays, I'm going to post a video. And on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, she was going to work on getting the video edited by Social Launch Agency. She, in reality, could literally just do that. Work maybe an hour a day and hit her goal.
Damn. I didn't realize it was kind of that simple.
The systems are already all built. The VAs, right? The virtual assistants, the real estate agents. We can get more into the nitty gritty, right? But your goal was $1 million. We have $320,000 to play with a system that can buy you your time back. So that every activity that's not worth $528 or a video that's making you $8,400, then we hire somebody to do that. Because your time is best spent being the Bad Bunny of real estate.
So let me ask you this, Angelica, if you could give anybody tips, myself included, is when you shoot your content, where do you get your ideas from? Like, because you're literally worth almost 10 racks per video. Where do you get your ideas?
Damn, that's a solid question. Video ideas, I think it's more so working backwards. What is your ideal audience? Who are you looking for? Buyers? Are you looking for sellers? Are you looking for VA buyers, first-time home buyers? And then go and look at what other people are doing. And so I do this all the time. I'll go look at people and look at how their videos are performing and steal the, like they say, steal like an artist. Steal the idea. You don't have to steal it word by word, right? But give it your own twist. Take the idea and then run with it. So a lot of what I do is the home tours, right? And the reason why I think my home tours perform better than other people's home tours is because of the information given. A lot of people will just put up the home tour and not even put where it's located or the price or what they need to purchase. So the difference between that is they see the house and then they realize I only need 20,000 and I have a 600 credit score. I could probably purchase this. And then at the end, you have your call to action, which is why they reach out to you. All right. You also want to make it, if you're doing the home tours, make it visually appealing. If you're going to do the educational stuff, I think that's where you build the relationship. So if they see my house tour, then they go to my profile, they'll start binging my content. It's called, what is it? Like bingeable content, right? And so they see, oh, she posted a house in Corona. Now she posted one in Menifee, now in Paris. Let me see what else she has. And then they see a random video of me educating you throughout the process. And that's where you get the credibility and the trust is your face. So I would say you just have to go out there, look at what's already working in your area, make it your own personal twist, and then post it. And you want to focus on making sure you captivate people's attention within the first 3 to 5 seconds. It's the same as a cold call. You have 30 seconds to get the next 3 minutes on the phone. On video, you have 3 seconds to keep their 30 seconds. And so I think that's where a lot of people fail. They'll take 3 minutes to explain a topic that should have been under 10 seconds. And so when attention is the new currency, the same way Tony's like every minute matters, every second matters with content. And I think people forget that because they're too in their own head. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Basically, secret sauce, go do your research. So when Tony was like, you're spending XYZ scrolling, does that mean that you were actually doing your work because you're looking for ideas for content, or are you just scrolling?
I think a bit of both. So I do get pulled into the TikTok doom, but I think I take ideas from creators that it's like, I'm not sure if you guys know, there's this one creator that does like, she has a donut shop. And so what she does is she doesn't just talk about how amazing her donuts is, but she talks about like the experience of how she makes the donuts or what having that donut shop created for her. And so naturally people went to her donut shop because they built that relationship with her. It wasn't that she has the best glazed donuts, but it's because of the experience that she displayed with her donuts. And so that's why I say like even the end result, right? Like the reason why I do the champagne and confetti, yeah, it's obviously I want to make it a big deal for my buyers. But a lot of people now, all my clients are like, yeah, I get to pop champagne now because they correlated that if I buy a house with Angelica, I get to do this at the end. And so you want to show the end result of what you do and how you do it. And that's why they work with you. Like I have people that are like, I've been waiting for you to get back to me for 3 months. It's like you could have already bought a house, but for some reason they build that loyalty with you because they think I'm offering something different than other people. And that's just because I'm a little bit more personable. So I think
you sell these. So you basically present the experience, and you kept. So me myself, obviously, you captivate me based off of I already know Angelica. But if I did not know Angelica, I want to do my closing with Angelica because of how you make me feel. Is that what I gathered from that?
yes. And I think too, a lot of people, especially I think realtors, we have a connotation that's very professional. It's a very big deal. And so I think when you just dumb it down even more and you make it seem like, hey, it is possible, it takes away people being intimidated by the process and you make them feel comfortable. And instead of me saying like, hey, I'm going to make sure that I guide and advise you, I just show you that. So I show them the proof and then naturally they're going to come to me. Versus everybody else and most realtors, they'll post about how they're top producers and they're the best, but like they don't ever care to show what they actually did for their clients. They just kind of show their trophies, but it's like I would rather not show my trophies and just show like, hey, I just got my client to this house without having to pay closing costs. Now this other buyer's gonna be like, I want to do that, but I haven't seen anybody else doing that, so I'm gonna wait for Angelica to reach out to me because I'm showing them what I do consistently. And so that's also on like my business, on my lead generating, which is my Instagram. I don't really go off too much off out of real estate, right? Like I'm not talking about how I enjoy cooking. I'm not posting a cooking video on my page, but I'll do it on my stories. And the reason being is because stories is an open conversation. It's easier for somebody to swipe up and be like, hey, I like this house, or hey, I had this question, versus them feeling like they have to comment and then they feel obligated to do something. But then even on that end, I make it stupid easy for them, right? Like I don't say, go click the link in my bio and schedule a call with me, because by the time they go to my page, click the link, fill out the Calendly, that was like 10 steps. So I just make it easy. Comment more info. They keep scrolling, doing what they're doing. I'm already in their DMs, already talking, starting that conversation. While the other agents, I clicked the link in my bio, I just made it so much easier and I got in contact with them that much faster. So I beat you to it. So speed to lead is where that matters. And that's when it comes into your systems. So I think making it with social, make it easy for them to reach out. Make sure you grab their attention and give them what they want. Like a lot of people will be like, here's how you get a lower interest rate. Message me, I'm the answer. Why would I? Like, you didn't give me anything, but if you give them everything for free, they're going to want to reach out to you because they're like, oh, she didn't like sell me some bullshit. When people are like, here's how you do XYZ, and then you wait for it and it's like, read the caption. It's like, I'm not reading the caption. But if you just give it to them, you delivered on your promise and now they trust you because of it. Instead, everybody tries to do these little Instagram hacks versus building the actual relationship with the viewer. So I think between all that, if you do all of that and you do it for like 6 months, I promise you it's gonna work. So this girl in my class, I don't know if she's on here. If you are, like, let me know. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. But she was doing the challenge. We're probably like day 17 in. She got 2 buyers and a listing from it. And she was like, honestly, my views aren't crazy. And I'm getting 200, 300, 500 views a video. And I go, because what matters is I would rather have an escrow than have high views. Right? Because what do you want? Do you want to be a influencer that just shows houses but isn't closing? Or do you want to have low views but quality leads? And coming from somebody that generates literally hundreds of leads, the less or leads that you get, but the better quality, the easier it is on your end because you don't have to filter through as many. And so what I say, if you just really focus on giving the buyer, the seller what they want, and you make it easy for them, they're going to reach out. You don't have to have extremely high views, but you just have to do it. I think she said it took her 3 days. That's the same thing. It took her 3 days to get her a buyer lead off TikTok. So she posted 3 videos and got a buyer.
That's amazing.
Right. And then she posted on Facebook groups. And so I do a lot of Instagram, but I can only imagine how much business is on Facebook.
That was me, Angelica. But yes.
Hi, Amanda. There you go. There's Amanda.
There you go. Baller.
I was like, I can't remember her name. Yeah. So
Yes,
she's,
it's pretty amazing.
yeah, if you want to share your story. So you did the challenge, and then how soon did you start seeing results?
Like you said, within 3 days, I got somebody that was interested. I had gone out to the communities here, and I went out and posted. They had a really good incentive. So I went out and I posted it, and then I posted it at night, and then the following morning, somebody had already reached out to me, and we went out and took them to the community and went under contract.
Is that insane?
Get you being the coach.
We did it.
You know what? I want to just add this piece, guys. For Angelica right now, everything is, and teaching you guys to build this, and the social media posting is building your clientele base. It gets really powerful. All those people still follow you. They follow your life, and then they come back to you every single time.
Yeah, they do.
So not only are you building a new form of clientele, but you're also maintaining your database, and you're staying in front of all your past clients. And then you get their families, you get their kids, and they're with you on this journey throughout your entire career. So then that 120 is easy to become 240, because out of those 120, it's not just posting 156 videos to get new leads. 80 of those leads might be people that were already in your database, that had been following you and had already done a transaction with you and are now referring you. They're coming back to list their house. And guess what? Not only are they listing their house, but they're also going to go buy their house with you.
Yeah. And going back to like that is, it's easier to maintain them and in your DMs. And so like I don't call my past clients like, hey, how are you? How's the house? Because they follow me, they're already keeping it, and they'll randomly slide up and crack a joke, or I'll crack a joke on their stuff. And in between those interactions, they'll be like, hey, I just got like this, my supplemental tax bill. What is this? Right. And it opens up the conversation. Or like, hey, my aunt's been wanting to move out here. And like he said, it's already people that follow us and they like us. And because they worked with you, they have a relationship with you that like you are now their friend. So they're more likely to message you on social than to pick up your phone call again. No offense. I'm sure they love me, but I'm sure if they're like busy at the grocery store and I call them, I'm like, I'm not really going to pick her up. But if I'm on Instagram, it's not as intrusive. And so once I close somebody, this sounds kind of bad, but once I close somebody, everybody's in my general inbox. So I don't see the messages. My VA runs my Instagram DMs. But when I see them, I'll move them to my primary. So now every time they swipe up on my stuff, I'll see it. And then I'll just chat with them a little bit.
But
so I think it's a good way to like use your social media also as some sort of CRM. And it's like a long term.
Yep.
You know?
I actually stole that from you. I started DMing my clients.
Did you? Yeah. And it's different. And then it just opens up this like non-obligated conversation that sometimes has nothing to do about real estate, but it's top of mind. Yep. And then they will always see my face and know like I'm still in real estate.
Yep.
And they begin to like love you as a person.
Yep. And you're their friend.
Yeah.
You're their friend.
I am their friend. So, Mariana, looks like you have a question.
Yeah. The DMing thing actually just reminded me that I have a lot of people that WhatsApp me. Do you guys post like in the stories of WhatsApp at all? Do you do anything with your business in WhatsApp?
I don't. I've never used WhatsApp. Messenger. I'm honestly really bad with Facebook, but I mean that's basically it.
Okay. No, no worries. I have another little side question is, and I might have missed it. Because I follow you on both Instagram and TikTok, and I noticed that you do have kind of different things that you post. I mean, you do share like the tours on TikTok, but not so much.
Right.
Do you find that like really changing the content for each of your pages or profiles beneficial? Or is like your main focus on Instagram for finding clients and TikTok is for like helping us?
Right. So 100% my Instagram is fully my lead gen. So I only post client stuff. Like I'll never be on Instagram and being like, hey, I'm shooting for $1 million in GCI next year. Right. But I will post like, hey, I just got my client $20,000 cover the closing cost. On TikTok, it's very different because the following I wanted on there was other agents. And it was mainly just to kind of document my journey. And I have more fun on TikTok versus Instagram. Instagram, I'm a bit more strategic with what I post on there versus on TikTok. On TikTok, I just kind of talk about my experiences and how I can help you versus Instagram solely for me generating business. And the reason I kept it like that is so Tony could come in and be like, hey, if you do X, Y, Z, this is how you continue to grow. Because then I'll attract two different people. And I know realtors aren't going to come to me to buy a house, but I know buyers and sellers will. So that's why I keep them a little bit separate.
Yeah, I'm 35 and I have like a 22-year-old sister, and so she's like, you need to be posting on TikTok.
You do. There's
my Instagram for TikTok because I know it's totally different.
Yeah, I always tell people that like honestly, when you feel, I find that people that are older, they are a little bit more shy about posting on social media. I don't know why. I think it's a huge advantage because most people that are doing it are my age, right? That we're just like, it's like normal for us. And for you guys, it might be a little bit more intimidating, but that also allows you to kind of take over more market share because there's probably not a lot of agents in your area that are posting houses, that are posting quality content, and you just become the go-to without really having to do much, but what you're already doing is posting. You're just coming in front of more people. And so there's this saying that it doesn't matter how great your product is if you don't bring attention to it. And so it doesn't matter how great of an agent you are if nobody knows you're a great agent.
Right.
So yeah, I would definitely do it. Give it a whirl.
Yeah. Thanks.
Sweet. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I mean that pretty much hits it. I think the
Well, this made me a little nervous.
Yeah. I thought it would make you super happy because
Well,
I
it does.
wanted to take an approach, whereas like normally if I'm doing this for lenders, it's like boring because it's like you got to call this many real estate agents and you got to call these many past clients and you got to call these many title reps and et cetera, et cetera. But like your KPIs are completely different than everybody else's. And for the people in your community, they're going to find that their KPIs are different. You need to just focus on what works, which is the video and the content creation, and then building the system behind it.
Right.
And then you let the system do the work.
Where my confusion is though, is if I'm just doing lead gen, like where do I fall in the client's experience?
Then you're only focused on these. This lead gen doesn't take you 8 hours a day.
No, it doesn't.
So
I can continue to wake up at 10.
This is your main focus.
I have
This-
question, please.
Yeah, well, and I'll answer you in a bit. Give me 1 second.
So this is your main focus, right? This is what you have to do in order to hit your goal. Because you can have the best system in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to get leads, your system doesn't matter. Because there's no inbound traffic. So remember my rat experiment
Yeah.
with the cocaine?
Mm-hmm.
This is you hitting the button that gives you cocaine.
Okay.
Okay? The rest of it is very simple. Like, then we have $320,000 to play with. If what we want to make is $1 million in profit, to build the system underneath it, to do everything, whether that means we're paying showing agents, and then we're structuring your time blocking, to when you're going to spend an hour following up with the leads.
Okay.
going on that first appointment, right? You and I have had the conversation of like, hey, we're not going to have you showing a client 10 houses.
Right.
We're going to have you showing the client the first house and then out of the transaction. And it's a good incentive for you to be like, if I close a client on my first time showing them, I get the full commission. Versus if I have to hand them off to one of my side pieces, I'm having to give them half of my commission.
I get what you're saying.
So you get that first at bat.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Your entire focus from now until the start of 2025 is how you're going to post these many videos.
How
And
many
now
was
you
it?
know that if Friday comes and you haven't posted 3 videos, you're behind schedule. And so if I was you, if I was Angelica Palacios, I would have 2 whiteboards. I would have
Yeah,
my
because they're not all gonna fit on one. There.
I would have my whiteboard. I would have my whiteboard with 120 houses, but I would
Okay.
also have my whiteboard with 156 videos.
Okay. 56 videos. That's actually that's a very smart idea.
Visualize it.
Okay. Well, this is what I want solo production to be, not team production.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody said they had a question.
Yes, just concerning the content that we can post on social media, can we post the same content, the same videos on different platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or do we have to have different content?
You could cross post. Honestly, if I had the bandwidth to run a TikTok for lead gen, I would just be cross posting. I don't have the capacity to take on more leads. So if you're at a point where you're not, I would try all of them and then see which one just works best for you. Like I've heard it all. I know agents that do really well with TikTok. I know other people that do really well on Instagram and others that do really well on Facebook. So it's just finding what works for you and which one you enjoy more.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any other questions for Tony or myself? Mariana.
Can I ask one more?
Of course.
Isis brought it up on Monday, but so I'm Brazilian and I speak Spanish and Portuguese, but I've done like everything in English. But I do want to like, get a hold of more of our Latino community. I think you mainly just post in English too. Have you tried posting in both languages?
I have not, but what I've found is that Spanish speaking buyers and people will reach out to me just, I'm assuming, by my name, or sometimes I'll post stories and all Spanish music. So I haven't. It is something I want to try, but I'm not very confident in my Spanish. But I think there's nobody really doing good quality content in Spanish or Portuguese that I've seen.
Right.
So I think it's a huge market that you can kind of go in and capitalize on if you just go.
Do you do it on the same page, or would you like do another page in Spanish and then another one in Portuguese? I think that's the hard part with like the
Figure
algorithm.
out which one you want to target most and focus on one. And the reason why I say that is because when I try to do too much, I don't do anything because I just get overwhelmed. So I would just say focus on the one that you think is going to be best for you and work for you. And which one do you prefer to have more Portuguese clients and Spanish speaking clients or English clients, and then go from there. I will just say with English, you're competing with a lot more of the same attention versus Spanish. I don't think, like I've said, I haven't seen a lot of strong content in Spanish that is actually valuable and attention grabbing. Yeah.
I had one officer who spoke Portuguese, and I was like, dude, all I would do is post Portuguese content.
Yeah.
Because even going back to like the lower views, the views that you are gonna
You're
get,
gonna get
those
quality.
are gonna be people that are like, oh my god, they speak our language.
Mhm.
Like,
Right. I guess I just have a hard time figuring out, do I do it all on the same profile? Or, I did post one time or twice in Portuguese or in Spanish, and they were lower views. There was, decent interaction, but I didn't get any leads from them, but I guess I also didn't do it enough to see an ROI or not. So maybe it's something I should consider for next year.
I don't think it'll hurt, and Angelica is much smarter at this than I am, but I don't think it would hurt right? Like if you put one video and then just duplicated that same video in
Spanish.
in Spanish or Portuguese, I think if you speak in Portuguese is a huge competitive advantage because there's like this pool of everyone speaks English, this pool speaks Spanish, but like there's like this pool that speaks Portuguese. And so like if you got a foothold of that network, it would be insane and your brand would grow so fast within that community because there's no one doing it. I haven't seen a
Right.
Portuguese real estate video.
Well, I have if you guys know of any like Portuguese speaking lenders, let me know because that's something I struggle with because I don't know anybody.
I mean, I had one on my team, but just gone now. ISIS took her.
Yeah, you're good.
I did, yeah.
It's
They
okay.
they offered her the entire state of Texas, so to leave my team.
She had a role.
On a side note, yeah.
I'm dead. Deja, you have a question?
In order to double the leads, do you do 2 videos a day?
Huh? Who asked that? Say 2 videos. No, I'd probably do 1 video every other day. The reason being is because I want the video to like season. I found that when I was posting too aggressively, it's like less because I'm just keep throwing it out. And then I also saw my I just kind of was like posting a post.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think if you do 1 good video, you don't need to post 3 times a day. Like I just believe that. So for me and with Instagram too is like you'll have like it'll kind of take off slowly and then a week later is when my videos blow up. It never happens instantly. So I kind of like to give them some time. And I normally know when a video is going to perform within like the first 5 minutes of me posting it.
What do you see within 5 minutes that you're like, oh, this is gonna hit?
The view count, the engagement, and then the watch time more than anything.
Yeah.
So if my video is 10 seconds and everybody's dropping off at 4 to 5 seconds, I know it's gonna flop. If my video is 30 seconds and they're dropping off at 10, I know it's not gonna go anywhere. But if it's 10 seconds and they're watching up to 8, I'm like, okay, cool, this isn't take off.
But
yeah. Sorry, Deja, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. That was one of my questions.
Oh, okay.
But the other one is like I said, I only have 1 so far, 1 closing, but I want to have social media as my main. So how would the math, I'm gonna warn you, I'm bad at math, but how would the math come out? Like as far as figuring out how many videos I would post, would you say yearly, monthly, weekly?
Weekly and daily. I think first is if you've only done 1 deal, figure out how'd you get that deal? How can you do that either as many times as you already did to get that one to yield the result you want? And for videos, you have to just give it, I tell everybody, if you give it 6 months and every video you're trying something new, you're eventually going to get 1 video that does well. And then you see what they liked about it and then how can you make it better? How can you elaborate more on that and keep doing that? And that's essentially how you're going to grow. But you have to be willing to see that your videos are probably going to suck and you're not going to get results for at least 3 to 6 months. But if you're constantly like increasing and like doing better and changing how you do things and changing how you speak, and you're going to get more confident on camera as well, you're going to yield the results. You just have to, it's just like anything. You know, you don't cold call the first day and then get a listing. But if you cold call every day for 3 months, you more than likely will. So it's a long run. And I think with social media, people get frustrated and they just quit and they're like, this doesn't work. But then that's why the people that continue it do so well because everybody else dropped off. So I think right now, it's not so much how many videos you need to post to get a lead. It's figuring out what videos you need to post to get that lead. So it's the same thing that the person asked earlier, right? Like, do I focus on learning or how do I do the math? And it's like, there comes a season when you're an agent where you're solely focused on learning how to do the craft and build your career. And for me, that was year 1 through 2. And then year 3 was the one where I could implement the systems and start to grow. And then year 4 is going to, God willing, be the best year yet. But you have to be willing to go through that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And then Hasna.
Yes, the question that I have, what do you think the best time to post on social media?
My answer to those questions, along with like best hashtags, trending sounds, is if you focus on creating a good video with a good hook and has good information, the time you post doesn't matter. I've posted videos at 3 a.m. They did just as well as the ones I posted at 12 or 6 p.m. So I think it's more so focus on the value you give, the hook, and the actual substance of your video versus stressing over what time you have to post. But if I had to give you like a surface level answer, I would probably say 3 to 5 p.m. because that's when people are off of work and that's when they'll check their phone.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ida, you have a question?
Yes. How did you guys break it down to knowing like how much you need to post in order to get that result? I don't know if you the formula, I guess, that you guys are
I'll let you
using.
take that.
Sorry, guys. I was trying.
They
My
said
fault.
the formula
The
to know
formula?
how to like break down your numbers.
Yeah, it's
I think you start with your goal and then divide that.
Are you trying to figure out like a monetary value or like how many videos to post?
Yeah. How many videos to post?
Do you get leads off your posts?
Yes.
How many closings have you had?
So today would be 16.
Let's go.
Congrats, that's awesome.
How many posts did you do this year?
I did 81 reels, home tours.
81 reels. Of the 81 reels, did that produce all 16 closings?
Yes.
Okay. So then what you're trying to figure out is how many reels do you have to do to get to 16 closings? It's super easy. Take 81 and divide it by 16. What's that number?
5.06.
So you need to do 5 reels in order to get 1 closing.
Okay.
And so 5 reels to get 1 closing. So that means how many goals do you want to, what's your goal for next year? How many closings do you want to do?
I want to do 35.
Okay. So take 35 and multiply that by 5. So you need to create 175 reels in order to get to 35 closings.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, so if you want to figure out per day, right? So what's
75.
175 reels? So you basically need to do 2 a day. Sorry, 1 every other day in order to be able to get the closings you want. Because you take 365 and divide that by 175. What's that number?
2.0.
Yeah. I mean, all your numbers are so even. It's crazy. So you need to, so every other day you need to post a video.
Awesome. Alrighty, no, sounds good. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Of course.
absolutely. You're doing 81 reels, 16 closings. How many views are you getting per reel?
It's anywhere between 3,000 to like maybe 10,000. Not that much.
Nice.
How many comments are you getting?
None.
None. Or call to action?
Yeah. What are you putting? What's your Instagram? Or is it Instagram or TikTok that you're generating leads?
Instagram.
Okay.
What's your IG handle?
It's buy with Ida.
.s?
Yes.
Where do you, you're in the high desert?
Yes.
Nice. And so these people are reaching out through DMs?
Yes.
Yeah, so the reason why I would say you're not is there's 2 things. Is
I like the music though.
I love it too. So like in some of yours you just put new construction, which is like they're obviously doing well, but I would add the city So one where people know where the house is located. And then even when I went on your profile, I right off the bat didn't know where you serviced. Right. So letting people know like what you do and where you service. So like in mine, my bio is servicing, helping people buy or sell homes in Southern California. Right. So just like I would make sure that that's in your bio, and then add within that, like in your videos, just add where it's located. Right. And then at the end, put for more information, send me a message, or for more information, comment more info. And then you could automate that because you do well at showcasing it and your videos are good. If you wanted to grow it, that's what I would do. Probably shorten it, add a call to action, add where it's located, and then you should be good to go.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Of course, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you guys for joining. I hope you learned a thing or two. Do you want to plug yourself?
Yeah.
We just did a podcast too. It'll be on his YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel?
It's Home Loan Coach Tony. I just started all new, brand new social media. Angelica and I started a new social media agency, and we're proving that we can start from zero and build it up. Literally, we started it a month ago.
Yeah.
And so follow me on Instagram, Home Loan Coach Tony, TikTok, Tony's Real Estate Tips, and YouTube, Home Loan Coach Tony. If you're a realtor and you need to know and you need help growing, if you're brand new, you'll work with one of my younger loan officers. If you're like Ada, I would personally work with you to help you grow your business. 'Cause you're right at that level where we can take you from 16 to 50 in like no time.
Yeah. And if I was you, I would take him up on it.
What's your name again on YouTube?
Home Loan Coach Tony.
Hello, Coach.
It's a brand new page, but an example of like some of the things you can do is like if you're in California, I dropped a Cal Halfa video. And so I had we just met with one of your clients that asked about down payment assistance. And rather than like trying to convince them to do the loan, we like sent them the YouTube video. They watched the YouTube video, and then now they're hounding us to be able to get the transaction done.
That's awesome.
So
Sweet.
cool. All right, guys.
We
You guys have an
appreciate it.
amazing day. Peace out.
Bye, guys.